everybody to another interview of our New Humanity Divine Life podcast. And today I welcome my guest, Ivan. Oh,
Hi, Anneke. How are
lovely
you?
Ivan from Malta. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing really well, thank you. It's nice to see you.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Always nice to see members of New Humanity.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So we just saw each other on another retreat in was it November, right?
Yes, few
Yeah.
months ago.
So to introduce Ivan a bit, he lives on Malta. He is originally Maltese, born and raised there, which is quite rare. And yeah, so he works on sales. He has 3 children, and he's for quite some years with Mindo and Lyonne, New Humanity, Divine Life.
That's true.
Yeah.
Um, it's a blessing
Mm.
having them in my life. My life had changed since then.
Yeah. Yeah.
quite, quite a long time ago.
Maybe you can start. How was your life back then and what happened? Yeah.
I have to say, I guess from a young age, I was always made to be in touch with God.
Mm.
Obviously, being born in Malta, I was raised Catholic,
Mhm.
and my mom and dad were quite active in the church. So on a weekly basis, um, I was active in church. I was actually with groups as well.
Mm.
And later on in life as well, I was in a group, was called the community, which was I was part of. So there were strong sort of roots and beliefs. And Catholicism was the only religion I was aware of,
Yeah.
so to say.
Mm.
If you come to Malta, over every corner,
Right.
there's a church.
Yes. Yes.
Um, so yes, um, uh, and then later on in my 20s as well, I I did some yoga, um, and it wasn't though as such meditations, although at the end of it, we used to have a, a meditation which lasted a few minutes, and that was like a connection as well. Um, then I done a couple of courses. Someone that came from America, which was about the power of the mind, and it was a nice sort of weekend, 4 days, and then there was the second part, which was more on the physical side, on emotions and energies, which actually showed me how powerful these things are within ourselves, and sometimes we suffer from blockages and physical and emotional, which don't relate them to how we are feeling inside.
Mm.
Um, then fast forward, I was continued my work, had a relationship which ended, and took me to a 1.5 year um, going abroad, backpacking.
Ah,
And
nice.
I remember at those days as well, a lot of stuff was coming up.
Mm.
And in my own way, I was doing meditation as well. Um, I
Mm.
remember though,
Mm.
um, thinking about, so we come here on this earth and then we die. And then they used to teach us that we go to heaven. or else we go to hell. or, or there was the in between. And I used to think, I remember before I go to sleep, sometimes I used to think, okay, then I will go to heaven. Let's say I go to heaven. I'm good. I done my life here and I go to heaven. And then I used to close my eyes and imagining myself. So then heaven is forever. And so then it's like 1 year, 2 years, 100 years, 1,000 years. And it was like a question mark. I used to question that.
Mm.
Maybe some people don't do. They think, okay, then you go to heaven and that's it. You stay there. But it was like there were dots that couldn't. I wasn't getting the full answer. It was like it wasn't clear for me, and that was that. And anyway, fast forward. Um, I was married and I had 3 children,
Mm.
and my life wasn't going the way I wanted it to go. I had some problems financially, communication, everything. And at the end, I came and I hit a brick wall. I guess it happens to so many people where they they come and they open up to spirituality on their darkest days.
Mm.
And that was what happened to me at the end. It was really, really, really bad that came one time when I wanted to finish it as well. And I remember seeing like a dark, 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 long tunnel. And there was like a flickering light at the end of that tunnel. And I see my 3 little children.
Mm.
Um, it was a very, very dark times. And through that, my wife back then
Mm.
came across a advertisement on Facebook, and there was Lyonne
Mm.
promoting a silent retreat in Gozo.
Mm.
And my wife decided to book that for me. And she said to me, I've booked you for this retreat. Um, you need to speak to this lady just to brief you up, and then off you go. And I thought, okay. I was in a, I was in a place where I obviously there was something strong within me that wanted to continue, wanted to live, and anything at that point I was open to. Cut a long story short, went to the beautiful island of Gozo. I had this retreat, and all I can say it was just amazing, blissful. The energies, the expansion, the openings that happened there, both physically on a physical side and mentally and spiritually, was beyond I could have handled, which I did, because at that time I used to be as a salesman selling properties, and in Malta, um, you get no wage. You
Mm.
get paid only if you do sales. So that was quite tough for me, having 3 children and a family. And I remember when I came back from that retreat, the transformation was so big that happened within inside of
Mm.
me that I could not go back. And it was like
Mm.
something from behind was moving me forward and forward. And all of a sudden, this big, massive, like future came upon me. I was eager to know what there is. So going back then, I was very, very low through the levels of consciousness. So I had to start climbing up the ladder, but something from higher above, my higher self,
Yeah.
was helping me.
Yeah.
It was present every single day in my life. So what happened? I'm in a job when you don't get a salary, you only get paid if you sell, and at the same time, I have this big, big, massive hunger to know more, to know more. So I'm at work, all my colleagues are working, they're focused on their work, telephones, this, that, and the other, and I've got my computer switched on, and I'm every single day looking at spirituality and law of attraction and this, that, and the other. And slowly, slowly, you start raising in vibration. At that time, um, uh, Mindo used to hold the Thursday meeting in his apartment in Slima,
Yeah.
which I started visiting, and it was beautiful. It was it was very close, so I could feel the energy as soon as I'm in his presence. And slowly, slowly, everything was coming to me. Um, I say this at first, when I used to hear Mindo talking, the words used to come to me, but they not always made sense. And he used to say, if you don't get the words, if you can't get it, just be present and just allow. Eventually, this will all make sense to you, and that's what happened. Um, it is such a beautiful um, ride, um, because from you start from where you don't trust yourself, you don't trust the people that you are with, you don't trust life, and all of a sudden everything starts helping you out. And through different meditations that we used to do, you open even more all the time. So that helped me even more. I remember in the early stages, I was at home one day on my own, and I was on the sofa, and that something came up to me, and it said it was in the afternoon. I said, "Let's have a meditation." And in this particular meditation, it was all in my solar plexus. As soon as I closed my eyes, the energy there was so, so strong, and there could feel there was a blockage. I just remember this particular meditation, and I had my eyes closed, and there was like a big washing machine, which was like hot coal from a volcano. This was going round and round and round, and I stayed with it. I stayed present with it, and then just a full relief. My breath could go back into my stomach, whereas if before it stopped here, it was shallow, shallow. These are just experiences that I just remember. At the end of the day, it's just an experience, and you don't get attached to it because it's just one of the few things on the ladder, you know.
Yeah.
But it at the same time, it gives you encouragement that there's something as well higher up that is there behind you to continue the work, you know. I have to say, as a student, I did camp quite a bit, and the Mindo used to say, do not camp. It's good to continue.
Mm.
Um, Unfortunately, with the situation I had made a decision that I would stay in that situation at home, which was not ideal for the sake of my children because they were still young. And so, in that way, the the ride took a much longer time that I wanted to. Um, the energy sometimes is not well. You don't do your homework. You don't know what you need to do, meditation and stay still. So it takes a little bit longer. So for a few years, I went on and off.
Yeah.
One thing though, for the last 7 years, I
Mm.
haven't skipped
Yeah.
was the annual retreat in Malta.
Mm-hmm.
This, it, I call it, it is a present to
Mm.
myself. It is time for me. And with the one-to-one sessions that we have during the retreat,
Mm.
they are amazingly powerful if you are present and you allow
Mm.
that whatever needs to come during those sessions come, and when obviously the ascended masters are invited upon and your higher selves, it is just so and so beautiful. I treasure these retreats
Yeah.
that we have.
Mm.
So yes, I continued with the going to the retreats, and then there would come stages where you are more present at the Thursday meetings, and that helps you.
Yeah.
When I used to manage to ground myself and meditate and work on myself, then you start seeing the fruits, because the changes that happens are evident.
So maybe you could go back to what you mentioned in the beginning about your, I would say it was your awakening, right? Doing this
Yes,
retreat with Lyonne, where everything
yes,
kind of opened for you,
yes.
the whole path. Yeah.
Um, that was my yes. That was my awakening.
Mm.
The start, and obviously you start reading. You go onto the internet
Mm.
and you start reading about awakenings of others, and then there are so much information
Mm.
on the internet, and then you start relate to what you have been through and what the sort of stages there are that leads you to higher level of
Mhm.
consciousness. What is beautiful, and I would like to mention as well, is whereas before you go through things, and I used to remember going to Mindo on one-to-one sessions, and I will like ask him questions, direct questions,
Mm.
and he never used to like answer those questions in the way I wanted him to answer.
Mm.
What I mean is, I would be stuck at that point in my life with regards to something. And it's like I wanted answers, a yes or a no, or do this or do that. And I always remember, um, Mindo says, all right, let's close our eyes now and let's have a meditation. And what I have learned from that is that with more work that you do, the answers will come,
Mm.
and they will come naturally. And what is so beautiful is that where in life you are stuck and you don't have the answers, and you, I would say, not only not sure, but scared of
Mm.
making certain decisions, important decisions in life. Once you start going up in the levels of consciousness, you start receiving the answers from within, from the higher self. And that is so, so beautiful, because not only you start trusting yourself, you start trusting life and knowing that you are not alone, you are guided, you that's basically it. You are never alone.
Yeah.
It
Mm.
is so, so nice
Mm.
when whatever comes up in life, you get the intuition from within, you
Mm.
get the answers, and they will be the answers that you would need to follow.
Mm.
Whether we follow those answers
Mm.
straight away or we don't follow them and do what we our mind tells us to do,
Mm.
at the end of the day,
Mm.
those answers that came to you are the ones that you need to follow. And if you went astray on the path, ultimately you will get back on the path and follow those answers. And it's so, so, so beautiful when you know that
Mm.
it's from within you, everything is coming to you,
Yeah.
to follow that path that will lead you to,
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Yeah, it's so beautiful when you trust in life, then life supports you in every way possible, right? Yeah. And
what
when
we
you go
need,
closer within,
yes.
you are out of your mind, you're more with your intuition and yeah, with the yeah, less loud voice, but the truth telling you, leading you. Yeah.
And ultimately that's what we're
Mm.
heading to. It's getting rid of our egos
Mm.
and the mind, which is just, it's not who we are.
Mm.
The body is not who we are, and our mind is not who we are. That's
Mm.
is so, so nice when you just follow your intuition, you follow the higher self, and not what this little thing
Yeah.
tells you.
Yes.
This naughty thing.
It's so limited, right?
It is so limited
Mm.
and so narrow and uh, it's so beautiful when you just listen to your inner self and
Yeah,
higher self.
coming closer to one's self. Yeah.
When you see, when the light is shown, as
Mm.
you said, earlier, when the light shines and sort of shows the mind the tricks of the
Mm.
mind, and brings that to life,
Mm.
to light, um, you are in a better place not to trust what the mind says to you,
Yeah.
and do get into it in yourself, and let that within yourself guide you, which is
Yeah.
so beautiful.
Yeah. So beautiful. I agree. Yeah.
In my life,
Mm.
I see the opposites. In my life, I had the experience to rub shoulders for so many years with people that had a lot of money and a lot of ambitions and a lot of goals. It's goals, goals, goals. That's what we live for. And it's the more you have, and it's this, and it's the clothes, and it's that. And ultimately, then you realize that that does not give you
Mm.
the peace and happiness and joy
Mm.
in life. We are chasing things that will lead to nowhere,
Mm.
you know. So having that experience and going through that is like chasing something that is never there,
Yeah.
and that hunger can never be satisfied because the more that you have, the more that you want,
Mm.
and it's like a never-ending story. But then when you come to this place and you know that you do have everything and that you find that peace, that joy within yourself,
Mm.
it is, there's nothing else. It's just, and the real you, as Mindo says, is much closer
Yeah.
than you think. It's so, 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 so close that you are it, you
Yeah.
know?
Yes.
We are it. And it's just being hidden by this veil.
Mm.
Um, and that's when we are able to remove that veil, whether it's for an instant or for longer periods of time.
Mm.
That's what it is.
Mm.
That's that's what we are. And
Yeah.
it's so beautiful.
Oh, good. And you're so sparkling right now, talking
No,
about
thank
it.
you.
Your eyes are
So are
sparkling.
you.
Oh, and it's
Because
so,
that's who we are,
yeah.
you know?
Mm.
And being with Leon and Mindo and with the new humanity, I see that even now along the earth, there's much more and it's never ending. Um, there's there's so much expansion and when we go, even when we reach full consciousness, it's just the start, and there's so many, the
Mm.
integration
Mm.
and again other things. And
Mm.
when you embrace all that and you see what you need to work on towards and what there is, it is so beautiful.
Yeah.
You think you've reached a certain
Mm.
stage and you think that you've cleared certain energies, you've cleared certain emotions, but so- so- sometimes you get surprised because
Mm.
so much more comes up. But
Mm.
when you're clearing these things
Mm.
in life, things that used to trigger you, things that used to do put you in a place, though they don't trigger you so much.
Mm.
You see them in a different light. You
Mm.
see your colleagues and your family members in different light, and from the way they are behaving. So
Mm.
knowing that, um, you would know how to react more, and that is priceless. That
Yeah.
is priceless.
Yeah. Once you change, your world changes. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yes.
Literally.
There is as well, I think within me now, I feel um, I am starting to feeling it that I part of this I would need to start helping others as well. I
Mm.
think it starts coming from within,
Mm.
that you don't only work for yourself, on yourself, I
Mm.
mean, but there is this inner voice now telling me, um, now, even when you meet others, when you interact in certain situations that comes up, you need to shine the light upon the people that are around you. Um, yes, so many things just drop, and you are much lighter.
That's true. You know, yeah, and as like a finalization of this interview, yeah, so yeah, maybe you could address to people what helped you, because I know, and you mentioned it, you went through quite some difficult times, right? What would you suggest to people who are facing difficult situations or life cycles?
Is just stop.
Mm.
Do not give up.
Mm.
There are higher energies, higher beings that are ready there to help you. That when you are faced with that brick wall, when you believe
Mm.
that there is no way out, whatever the situation might be, there is.
Mm.
You just need to help yourself.
Mm.
Just a little bit at a time, and things will start changing. If you just stop and be present with yourself and just forget about what is happening for a while bit, around you in your life, and just be present. Remember, there is no past and there is no future, there's only the present moment.
Mm.
And when you make that decision that I want to make this present moment just a little bit better
Mm.
than the one that has just passed,
Mm.
and believe, don't listen to what your mind says. Your mind tells you things from the experience you have experienced in your life since you were born,
Mm.
and it might not be a very good experience. So don't listen to what your mind says, because it can play tricks on you. Just close your eyes
Mm.
and listen to what comes from within, and let that guide you.
Mm. Mm. Ivan. Yeah.
I have to say one
Mm.
another thing that I'm just thinking about, my past as well, which helped me a lot.
Mm.
Um, there was always a question mark with me, and I used to say I am different from others,
Mm.
and there was always a struggle, and I was like always like sometimes in the clouds and not in the present moment, more than other people, because we are, all are,
Mm.
but much more than other
Dream.
people. Yes. And in my late 40s, eventually I discovered that I am ADD. I have the attention deficit disorder, and some people have ADHD,
Mm.
and that can wreak havoc in personal lives, in marriage life, in
Mm.
every everyday situation with people. Since I started meditating and I'm on the spiritual path, that had changed I
Mm.
cannot describe. I was on a lot of pills. Before, I was on antidepressants and on so many pills, and even pills for the attention deficit disorder.
Mm.
With meditation and being present and having these one-to-one with Mindo, for instance, where you let the full consciousness, the light comes into you, and all this work that I done throughout the years, I can say that my life has changed so much. I don't take any pills anymore, no for antidepressants or anything like that, and neither for ADHD, because that helped me as well. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this because as well, people might say, oh, you can talk because you never have this condition or that condition, and they can blame certain things that they have on them for not progressing or not having this kind of life that we all want and proceeding to have. But I'm saying this as well because no, these things do help you as well, whether you have a physical condition as well. So that was important for me, like to say, because, it could be that we sometimes blame things apart, not just our minds, but on things that we might have that really put up walls around us where we can actually have those walls taken down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, beautiful journey, and it continues and continues.
I am looking forward now in my life. I am obviously more confident. I am the relationship I have. I'm still in sales, so the relationship I have on every day with people that I meet is so much more beautiful because it's a one-to-one. When I meet people before, my head used to be all over the place, and sometimes I'm not with that person. But now, when I have a person, I have a client with me, I'm one-to-one with them. I am everything just comes out from the heart, and the the experiences which you have with people, just people that you don't know, is so much more rich and beautiful. And so every day you get more, you get a lot in life. So I'm looking forward to raising my consciousness with um, the help of Mindo and Lyonne, and yeah, looking forward, really looking forward to it more and more and more.
Yeah, so beautiful. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening, for watching and listening. And yeah, see you in the next episode. Much love.
Bye.